there was so much oxalate inside the eyeball itself
Oh,
that they found stalactites of oxalate hanging inside the eyeball.
yeah, yeah, indeed. Okay, I think let's talk about ocular oxalosis. And quite frankly, Sally, when I came across the term, I thought this was something I made up. Ocular oxalosis. Well, I looked into it. My co-editor, he looked into it, went, no, that's not a real thing. But we looked into it further, and I believe you have some information about ocular oxalosis being a real medical term. And could you explain a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, so ocular means eye, and it involves any eye-related tissue. So sometimes ocular means not just the eyeball itself, but the capillaries that feed them, the optic nerve, and maybe the glands around the eyelids and so on. So ocular can mean anything eye-related. And oxalosis is oxalate building up in those tissues. So that means oxalate is in the ocular tissues or eyes full of oxalate. And that's bad news. And these deposits get worse. The more damage you have to the eyes, the more likely you get the damage because the crystals start forming and sticking and not being rebuffed or managed when the tissue is already damaged. So the oxalate comes in and damages the way the nerves function. The nerves are messed up because it's wrecking electrolytes. It's grabbing calcium in fluids and robbing us of potassium and so on, causing the nerves and the muscles around the eyes to not function well. And that includes the brain. The brain gets inflamed from the damage to the cells. It's causing cell membrane problems. It gets into the cells, causes mitochondrial kind of browning out. So the mitochondria can't produce enough energy. It's causing oxidative stress. So you get different kinds of problems that lead to shortened cell life and an invasion of immune cells. And now you've got damaged tissue, you've got dying tissue, you've got immune cells around, and all that situation is a situation where oxalate crystals precipitate out and start collecting, and the tissues don't defend themselves well. So the more damage the eye gets, the more it collects, and the more you get obvious crystals when the person dies. There's one example in the literature that was, I think, done in the 70s by a guy named Gardner, and he took an eyeball out of a kid's head. He was in his 20s, but when he was like 12 or something, some piece of plastic hit his eye and damaged his eye, and his eye basically died. And he was blind in that eye, and they left the eye there, but they had to take it out in his 20s. And when he took it out and they sliced that eye in half, they called it stalactite.